I'm Nicky Bell, I play Carter.
My name's Liam Boyle, I play Elvis. I think it was, obviously it was great being with the lads. There was this feeling of when you were with them that you were part of something, even though it wasn't real. It was so weird that when you see us walk around the corner for the first time as a collective, that was our first day together. So all that kind of camaraderie was just come from just instinct, and that was an amazing feeling. And I think as soon as the camera rolls, we just all just clicked, and we all just got on with it, and we all was part of the pack, and we all were our characters, and it was like really good to be a part of.
Relying on you, Carty, son. Need someone I can trust.
He came down, Stephen Green came down, his first day with us was very sporadic. I mean, we did this, we had a little fight scene under the Runcorn Bridge. And then that night he invited us all up to his hotel room for a drink just to talk about scenes for the next day. And he really did take a leadership role and really helped us out in getting into characters and, you know, what we were going to do on that day, and, you know, try different things during the scene. It really helped us because he's such an influential lad, you know, and he really does put his arm around you. He is like a leader, he does put his arm around you and, like, you know, say, look, why don't you try it this way or try it that way.
This is the thing though, and your Uncle Al's only being a buddy to you now, yeah? But how it stands, like, the lads are far from being sure about the enigmatic Professor Carty. Do you know what I'm saying? He comes, he goes, no one really knows him.
Similarities between myself and Carter, apart from us being ladies' men, there aren't that, to be honest, there aren't that many. I think that's what was such a challenge playing him, what was so great about it was, I'd like to think I'm the opposite of Carty anyway. I certainly hope I'm better in bed than he is. But at the end of the day, I just think that there's not that many similarities between us, but there's a lot of differences.
Have you got a nice cock? In real life, as in...
I tell you, is that another similarity between you and Elvis or something, asking me that question?
No, I just I'm very penis orientated today. Sorry.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Yeah, I just don't think that there's any similarities between us. I think that was one of the benefits of playing him. It was something that was completely polar opposite to me. Although maybe I am a bit naive in undergoing this interview. Maybe there's a similarity between the two.
Oh, God. Fantastic.
Certain things have to be said.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Similarities between me and Elvis. I look the same. I've got the same face. I've kind of stole his style, but I don't think he'd go for a yellow Fred Perry. It'd be more in the reds and the darks. But I think I'm sensitive. I think Elvis is a sensitive person. I think I'm very fond of being sensitive and very honest. I think Elvis is an honest guy. I think but he's very articulate, whereas I'm not that articulate with regards to what I say comes out in brr. But I don't know. I'm definitely not as hard as Elvis. I'm not, so I hope I don't start getting any questions in the street, or like, you know, he wants to fight me, because I'll fall down like a floppy penis.
Jesus Christ, Carty, get on fucking Cruella.
And it's hard. I've never done an accent before in my life. I'm from Salford, from Manchester, and I've got that strong accent. I've grown up with it, and to knock that out of you after 23 years and go into someone else's accent is ridiculously hard. And thankfully, no one taped the read through, because my accent on that was shockingly bad.
Well, we're both obviously not from Liverpool, and he's a Salford lad, you know, and he's a big fan of United, and he's a very big fan of where he's from. He loves being from Salford. He loves bringing that out in conversation every now and then.
Being a United fan, walk into an audition room, right? Imagine the scene. You walk into an audition room not knowing that it's a Liverpool-based film. and you sit there in front of what is essentially a Tranmere fan and a staunch Liverpool fan. He turns around to me and goes, "Can you do a Scouse accent?"
So when we were doing the film, and he got this Manx Scouse accent going on, it was absolutely incredible to kind of to bounce off it, because I've never heard it before.
That was the hardest thing, you know. Going home, if you do someone else's accent for 7 weeks, day in, day out, when you go home, you have that twang, whether you like it or not. You carry that twang home, and I probably will today after being back here. And the amount of piss taking I got off my friends and family for going on with that twang was unbearable. And that's, you know, forget all the injuries that we sustained on set and stuff like that. You know, that was the thing that hurt the most, having to go home and face that. That was the most painful thing.
I've never heard a Manx Scouse accent used that way, but yeah, then it just helped me raise my game, to be fair. Yeah. Well done, Nicky Bell.
Welcome to Hades. So this is Shea Elvis, eh? Cool gaff, la.
We aim to please.
I guess my approach came from the script. I mean, I don't think any of the violence in the script was gratuitous. It was all tied in with the story very clearly. You know, like the first fight is about Carty being kind of intoxicated by the violence and being part of the gang. You know, the second one is you know, becoming a bit of a hero in the gang. The next is being kicked out of the gang, effectively. And the last is the price he pays for his involvement in the gang. So they're all, you know, all those set pieces were really part of the plot very strongly. I don't think you can always say that about films that have dealt with football violence. And each of the set pieces, I also try to just give them a bit of a flavour of what the character's feeling at that time. Like, I think Carty is getting off on, you know, the first fight feels epic to him, and it feels there's a kind of romance to it. I don't know, it was a bit of a strange thing to say about violence, but I just wanted to kind of get across it's a kind of glory moment for him, you know, and the euphoria he's feeling. And the second one is more about just a basic adrenaline kick. You know, so I tried to give each of the scenes that kind of feel, and I tried to, I don't know, you know, I storyboarded all those scenes just so I hit all the story beats, as well as, you know, showing the actual violence. You know, the certain points that you need to get across, you know, within those scenes, and you kind of build the scene around that. But you know, we had a fabulous fight coordinator. You know, the boys really surprised me with their kind of skill and, you know, their incredible enthusiasm. Well, it's funny because I read the book first, and you know, it's got such a variation in tone, and, you know, there's, you know, quite a few different subplots going on, and you know, I was really interested in, you know, what the script was going to be like, and, you know, what kind of narrative Kevin was going to pull out of the book. And you know, the thing that fascinated me most was the relationship between Elvis and Carty, and I was really pleased when I found that he'd made that the core of the story, really. You know, you're always a little bit concerned when you come to shoot, you know, about whether you've got the right people, and I think this was the first time I was completely 100% sure, you know, that we had the right two people for the cast, the two leads, and I just could not have been more happy with the two of them. I mean, the problem I had, in a way, initially at least, was who was going to play who. You know, sometimes I vacillated between Liam playing Carty and Nicky playing Carty, and then I remember one night I just sort of slept on it, you know, and I went to bed with that thought. And I don't know, sometimes you can work things out when in your sleep. I don't know if you do that. And I woke up and I just I got a real kind of gut instinct feeling that Nicky was the right guy for Carty.
Does the film live up to my expectations? Well, when I was filming it, it was probably the best experience I've ever had in my entire life. So I think the final product does justify the hard work. I think it's a great end product.
Favourite track in the film, Young Savage. It's an awesome track, and it gets the film going really quickly, really early on. Sets the tone for the entire film.
I'm going to pick two. I'm going to pick Young Savage and I'm going to pick Just for a Moment.
My favourite train should have to be the Forest Hills, without a shadow of a doubt.
Favourite trainees from the film would have to be the Malmos. Yeah, quite an interesting choice, but yeah, the Malmos.
Favourite scene? Yeah, I like the scene when the Pat come round the corner for the first time. I think that's the best scene visually. I think it's just brilliant.
Favourite item of clothing? I loved Elvis's purple leather box jacket. I thought that was an interesting piece of attire.
The most uncomfortable part of the film was probably when I realised that I had to do a sex scene with Rebecca Atkinson, who I've known since I was about 3 years old. It was just hanging. It was like having sex with your sister. It was not a nice experience at all. It's even worse when you think you've got 3 blokes watching you with nothing but a sock around your meat and 2 veg. And in another room not so far away is the entire rest of the cast and crew watching our little monitor. It's just, there's nothing nice about it. I know a lot of lads say you're a really lucky lad to be doing what you're doing, but honestly, it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's really uncomfortable, and that was probably the worst thing I had to do in the film. Apart from tell Dave he's a good producer, but that goes without saying.
Does Elvis live or die? What do you think?
Did Elvis live or die? Depends whether Ottman want to commission a sequel.
Right, go on.
No, I don't. I'm not too sure. No, it does. It depends whether Ottman want to commission a sequel or not.
My favourite trainers from the fucking hell, sorry mate, blow your fucking head off. I've actually got nothing to say. Just want to piss you all off.
I might as well walk off and go. Fucking hell.
If you can just both give a fairly, not stern, but you know, serious long look into the camera.
Fuck off, you scummy bastard. You squeezed me fucking ass, you dirty bastard.
You just suddenly go. I hope you agree that I was right.